Hello students, welcome back. Today I am Anuradha from Ardent Progressive School, going to start another topic of the same chapter, that is human reproduction. So here in this chapter almost we have completed all the topic, and today we are going to complete the last topic of this chapter. So here what we have done till now, that for any human reproduction, right, there are some events which is going to take place. So we have started this chapter from the first step, that is the gametogenesis, in which we have studied that male gametogenesis as well as the female gametogenesis. Okay, it means that spermatogenesis and oogenesis, and after that we got the male gamete and female gamete. Okay, then just after it there must be a transfer of that gamete towards the female part. Okay, so in case of male part, there is a sperm which is a male gamete. It has to move towards the female genital tract, and what the process it will be? It will be the insemination. So what do you understand by the insemination? That insertion of that semen towards the female urogenital tract. Okay, then comes to the fertilization. So once if I will talk about this fertilization, okay, once the sperm will reach towards the female part, what it will do? It is going to fertilize. Okay, what it is going to do? It is going to fertilize. So where the fertilization takes place? At the fallopian tube. Okay, so here at the fallopian tube, what will happen? There will be fertilization of male and female gamete, and due to this, what will happen? There will be formation of zygote, and once the zygote has been formed, what will happen? There will be several cleavage. Okay, it means that after that there will be cleavage in this zygote, and we have done this thing how the cleavage takes place. Okay, so that much is there. So once this zygote will transform into the embryo, now what will happen? These are the endometrium lining of the uterus. Okay, so here this embryo it is going to implant. Okay, so what is happening? The implantation of the embryo will take place where? Into the uterine lining. And what will be the structure now? It is known as blastula. What you will call it? You will call it blastula. So blastula is what? In that stage where it is going to attach with the endometrium lining. So here we have done implantation. Now today we will understand that what are the changes it is going to take place in this blastula, right? So if I will talk about this blastula, what it contains some layers. Okay, initially when the secondary oocyte has entered here, they are having some coverings. What are those coverings we have done? We have completed that. They are having some outermost layering, okay, corona radiata. Then inside the corona radiata there will be zona pellucida, and inside the zona pellucida there will be the ovum. Okay, so for oogenesis will complete where? Here, when there will be fertilization, right? So here we can say that now this ovum, when it will fertilize with the sperm, it will form zygote, and this zygote is what? It is unicellular. Now from here onwards there will be division. What are the division? Initially it will be with the fusion of nucleus, then there will be fusion of the cytoplasm. Okay, so what will happen? Due to that it will form two cell stage. Okay, initially it will form two cell stage, then it will form the four cell stage like this. We have completed that thing, 2 cell, 4 cell stage. Then it will form the 8 cell stage, likewise 16 cell stage, then 32 cell stage. So what we have done, from 8 cell to 16 cell stage, what we call it? We call it the morula. So after that there will be what? There will be the morula formation, and this morula, whether this 2 cell stage or the 4 cell stage, they are made up of different types of cells. So what you are calling them? You are calling the blastomere. So this is the division for you, that these cells are known as what? These are the blastomeres. Now these blastomere, they are arranging themselves, okay, before attaching in this endometrium lining. What it is doing? It is arranging itself, their cells. So how it look like? For example, these are the cells. Okay, so we have done this thing. So at the outer part there will be the arrangement of cells, and what you call this cell? You call it trophoblast, right? What you will call it? Trophoblast. And there will be some inner cell which is just like this one. Okay, what you will call it? You call it the inner cell mass. So this is what? This is the trophoblast, and this one is the inner cell mass. Now, after attaching, because this structure is what? This structure is blastula stage, in which you can say there will be formation of this cavity like structure. Okay, this cavity like structure, and this cavity is known as what? It is known as blastocele. Okay, what is it? The whole structure is what? Blastula, right? And this space is known as blastocele, and here then when it will attach with the endometrium lining, and at the same time where there will be oogenesis, okay, or when there will be release of ovum, there will be formation of the this endometrium lining also. If you will recall the menstrual cycle, what we have done, that on the 14th day, if it is a 28-day cycle, right? So on 14th day, what happens, that there will be the ovulatory phase. It means that the LH hormone is at highest peak, and due to that there will be rupturing of the Graafian follicle and the ovum get released. So after the 14 to 28 days, okay, there may be two conditions. Fertilization can take place or it cannot be take place, right? So if the fertilization will take place, what is the requirement? That this endometrium lining should be maintained. So whatever the endometrium lining it is forming, because the first phase is what? It's a menstrual phase, and after that there is a proliferatory phase, and here this is the secretory phase. So during the secretory phase, if from 14 days onwards, this endometrium lining, it is secreting some glycogen also. What it is secreting? It is secreting the glycogen. So this glycogen, it is moving, you can imagine that this is the endometrium lining, right? After the 14 days, this endometrium lining, it is going to release the glycogen. So whatever the blastula is coming from here, it will take this nourishment from this glycogen released by the endometrium lining. Okay, so once it will enter here in this endometrium lining, what it is going to happen, there will be some changes takes place in this blastula, and this changes, it is happening due to what? Due to some differentiation. So how the changes will take place? See, this trophoblast again get divided into two layers. Okay, how it will divide into two layers? With the help of this trophoblast, you can see there will be formation of this such type of structure. Okay, and this structure is what? Inner one is the trophoblast, okay, and the outer one, what you will call it? You will call it that as a syncytium. It means that all over cytoplasm is present and nucleus are multinucleated and they are present like this. Okay, so this is the inner part and this is the outer part of the trophoblast, right? Then now comes to the inner part. You can see that this is what? This is the blastocyst and this inner cell. This cell is going to form the embryo. Okay, this inner cell mass, it is going to form the embryo. So how it is going to form the embryo? Because again there will be some changes will take place. So if I will draw this diagram like this, okay, if I will draw this diagram, so what you can see, that this is the inner layer and this one is the outer one. Okay, this one is the outer one. Now inside the structure, you can see that there will be formation of this two things. What are they? Epiblast and the hypoblast. Okay, so this epiblast will give rise to the embryo, and this hypoblast, it is not participating to form the embryo, right? So what will happen? This epiblast will again changes its structure. Okay, again it will get divided, and due to this division, what will happen? It will form such type of structure. It is going to take that place. Okay, so this is what? This is of the epiblast. Here this hypoblast also, it will form such type of structure, right? And here you can see that some cavity can be formed. Okay, some cavity can be formed. So likewise, when they are forming these structure, what they are forming? They are forming the different layers or different parts. What are they? Chorion, amnion, allantois and the yolk sac. So here this part is forming here all over it. What it is forming? It is forming the yolk sac as well as the outermost part. Okay, the outermost part is forming in this side. What it is going to form? It will form the chorion, right? And inner to it there will be the amnion, and this amnion contains the amniotic fluid. Right, so that much we know about this structure which is going to take place, or with the changes it is going to take place in this blastocyst. Okay, so here if you can see this diagram here, I have drawn this diagram very easily. So what will happen, there will be some changes in the structure, and due to these changes what will happen, there will be formation of chorion. Chorion will be the outermost part, and the second one is what, amnion. Amnion one is this part, and the fluid which is going to present inside this amnion, it is known as amniotic fluid, and this amniotic fluid, it is going to nourishment the embryo. Okay, so when the fetus, or we can say it is present inside the mother's womb, so all over it what it is present, amniotic fluid, and it is present inside the amniotic sac, right? So what we can say, chorion is there, then amnion. After that again there will be some changes, it is going to take place here, and what you will call it, you will call it gastrulation. What is that term, gastrulation? This gastrulation is what, it is a differentiation. During this time the embryo will change its structure, and it will form three different layers, or we can say three germinal layers, that is known as ectoderm, mesoderm and the endoderm, right? So ectoderm, we all know that for the epithelial structure ectoderm is responsible, likewise mesoderm for the muscular, and the endoderm for the nervous system, right? So likewise all three will get differentiated, and the step, it is known as the gastrulation, right? So here endoderm and mesoderm, they are forming the allantois, and along with this there will be formation of yolk sac also. So here this is all about the thing which is going to take place inside this embryo, because it has now divided or differentiated. Okay, so this much structure is going to take place, and now we have done this thing, there will be the changes inside the structure. When there will be changes inside the structure, this is what, this is the outermost part, and I have said that it will form what, it will form the chorion, and these are what, these are the trophoblast. What are they? These are the trophoblast. So this trophoblast will remain for the 3 months, because later on this part will form the placenta, right? So we can say that as there will be formation of embryo here, it is attached with some structure which is known as what, it is known as the placenta. So this trophoblast, what will happen, there will be some changes inside this structure. Okay, so first of all it will change its structure from the inner part, and like this the outermost part will also get changed. Okay, so due to this changing, what it is forming, it is forming finger-like projection which are interdigited with the endometrium lining, and now this structure will get attached very easily, and later on it will form the placenta also, right? And during that time when it is going to implant it here, what it is going to do, it will release one hormone, we have done HCG. Okay, so what HCG is indicating, that it is indicating that yes, pregnancy is confirmed. Okay, so during the first 2 or 3 months, what happens, that this trophoblast is going to release this hormone, but later on as the placenta will develop, it will also release the HCG hormone. Okay, so that much we have completed. Now what you will call this finger-like projection, you will call it chorionic villi, because the outermost part, what we have given the name, chorion. So the finger-like projection it is forming here, it is known as what, chorionic villi, right? So you can see that chorionic villi, later on it will get degenerated from all other part, but it will remain at this part. Okay, so here it will remain attached. So when it is attaching, so what it is forming from here, it is forming the placenta. So these trophoblasts, or we can say chorionic villi, later on what it is forming, placenta, and this placenta is helpful for attaching this embryo here. And how it is attaching, with the help of the umbilical cord. So this is the all thing which is going to happen here, right? Now once it has been formed embryo, now what will happen, it will take nourishment from the maternal body. Okay, so placenta is there, so we have to understand the function of placenta, that it is helpful for the exchange of gases, as well as they are releasing the hormone also, which is maintaining the pregnancy. Now one more important thing, see, on the 14th day, as the ovulation will occur, what will happen after the 14th day? Okay, it means that within a week what will happen, there will be all the changes. It means that all the cleavage will take place, and on after the 7th day, on 8th day, there will be changes in the embryo. Okay, now after that, after it, what is going to happen, again there will be some release of hormone. How the hormone is going to release? Because LH hormone is decreasing after the 14 day, but they have to maintain the endometrium lining. Along with this, it is having the corpus luteum. This corpus luteum is again very important, because if there will be no fertilization, this corpus luteum will get degenerated. But yes, when there will be fertilization, this corpus luteum, what it is doing, it is secreting another hormone that is known as the estrogen and progesterone. Due to that, this endometrium lining will get maintained for the gestation period. Okay, so what we can say, the role of hormone is very important during the gestation period or during the implantation. Okay, so what is happening, that due to this estrogen and progesterone, this lining will maintain and it is secreting the estrogen and progesterone hormone. Okay, so that much we have completed. Now once the differentiation, once the implantation has been done and the differentiation also occurred, now what is the time? There is a time to develop the some different parts of the embryo, because differentiation of what? Differentiation of body parts is going to take place. So here we have to understand that what are the changes, which is happening here in these 9 months. So here this is a summary. So if I will talk about the one, as at the end of 1 month, you can see that there will be the embryo's heart. So the first time the heart beats, or we can say, we can understand that how the fetus is growing. So from where we can understand? From the embryo's heart. So it will formed, or it will maintain its beating at the end of 1 month. After that, at the end of 2nd month, what happens, that there will be formation of limbs and the digit, means that formation of some hands and some legs, they are going to form. When after the end of 2 months. Then comes to at the end of 3rd month, there will be formation of some more organ system in the embryo. Okay, now comes to the during 5th month. So during the 5th month, what happens, that there will be the movement will start. Okay, so movement of the baby will be start from where? From the 5th month, and here also on the head they will form. So we can say formation of or growing of hair on the head, as well as some limb movement also is there in case of during the 5th month. Now comes to the 6th month. In 6 months, or at the end of 6 months, the body will covered by the fine hair. So firstly what will happen, the hair will form into the head, and after it will form into the other body parts, as well as along with this there will be formation of some eyelashes and eyelids, or eyelids will get separated, right? And during the or at the end of 8th month, there will be the movement or the descent of the testes takes place. This is very important. See, if I will talk about any of the male reproductive part, what happens, that in any male body, this part is what? This part is the scrotum. So this during the starting period, okay, when the fetus it is present inside the mother's womb, these testes, they are situated where? They are situated in the abdominal cavity. But during the 8th month, or at the end of 8th month, these testes, what they are doing? They are descending into the scrotum. Okay, it means that they are descending into the scrotum, and it is very important, because we know that test is always located where? Into the scrotum. If it is not moving, then again it's a problem in the body. Okay, otherwise it should move from the abdominal cavity, abdominal part, to the scrotum part. And what is that canal through which it is moving? It is known as the inguinal canal. So if this question may be asked in examination, right? And comes to the 9th month. So at the end of 9th month, now fetus is fully matured. Okay, so this is the time for the delivery of the baby. Okay, so what will happen? The baby will get delivered after the proper development. Okay, now we have done that. These are the changes that is happening inside the mother's womb to the baby, or we can say now fetus also. Okay, once it has differentiated its body part, so what we can say? We can say fetus also, right? So here now the fetus has been developed properly, and you can see that there is a uterus. This part is what? Uterus, and inside this amniotic fluid is present, and this part is what? Placenta, through which this one is connected to the umbilical cord. Now once it will develop, what will happen? There will be time of the parturition or the delivery. Okay, so what do you understand by the last step? It is known as the parturition. Parturition is what? Expelling out of the baby through the uterus. Okay, now you can see two diagrams I have drawn. These are what? These are the pelvic region. Okay, and this pelvic region will get widen up during the parturition. So here this one is what? What is the birth canal when we are talking about the cervix and the vagina? Okay, the common opening. So we are talking about it's a birth canal. So these pelvic muscles, they will get widen up. Then only there will be the delivery of the baby. But during the gestation period, there is a mucus plug which is present here. Okay, here also. So this mucus plug is preventing the fetus to move outside. So for that time period, what will happen? It will develop inside the mother's womb. That's why there will be no delivery. Okay, now you can see this diagram here also. When there is a time for the delivery of the baby, there is important role of hormone. What are these hormones here? We know that hormones secreted by what? By firstly it was given direction by the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus, it give information, okay, and to the pituitary gland. And the hormone which is responsible here, that is the oxytocin. So the oxytocin hormone is very important for the parturition. Why? Because it is providing some contraction to the body. So contraction to what? Contraction to the uterus. So when the baby or the fetus will get mature or develop, these contraction must be required. So from where this contraction will come? From the posterior pituitary. We have done this thing that hypothalamus gives the signal to the posterior pituitary gland. And why it is happening so? It is happening so due to the fetal ejection reflex. Okay, so what it is doing? It means that this fetus is providing some signal to the body of the mother, and there will be the release of oxytocin hormone, and due to this oxytocin hormone there will be the delivery of the baby. Why? Due to the contraction of all these things, right? As well as this contraction takes place during the delivery and during the detachment of the placenta also. So here we are having three stages. First of all, there will be dilation takes place. Okay, once the dilation, there will be expulsion of the baby, and after expelling out this baby from the mother's womb, this placenta through which this fetus is attached, it should also removed. Okay, so again this oxytocin hormone should keeps on working. Why? Because once the baby has been expelled out, but these uterus will again get contracted, and due to this contraction, this placenta will also come outside from the body. Okay, so here these are the three different stages, and what we are calling it? It's calling the delivery or the labor pain, because during the time it's just like breaking the 200 bones together. Okay, so it's a very painful stage of the mother, right? So all this is happening during the last stage of the reproduction. Now once the baby has been expelled out, it needs what? It needs a feed, right? So it depends upon what? Depend upon the mother's feed. So here there is a time that the mammary gland should release the milk. So how it will release? Again there will be some hormones secreted by the pituitary gland. What is it? Prolactin hormone. So what is it? Prolactin hormone, and it is secreted by what? By the anterior pituitary. Okay, so see oxytocin here also, and after the delivery also there should be release of oxytocin. Why it is so? Because we are having the anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary, and posterior pituitary is responsible for secretion of oxytocin, and role of oxytocin is what? Contraction. Okay, here in the prolactin, what is its role? To secrete or to produce the milk. So we have done in the mammary glands. Okay, if you will recall the structure of mammary glands, okay, these alveoli, all they are connected. They are connected through what? They are connected through the duct system. Okay, and due to this there will be secretion of milk. So whenever the feed, now the baby, when it will suck the nipple of the mothers, what will happen? It will again send some reflex to the body, and due to this what will happen? There will be the oxytocin hormone. So every time when there will be suckling by the baby, what will happen? It will give some action, and what you will call it? You will call it milk ejection reflex. Okay, starting during the delivery we have said fetal ejection reflex, and now it is what? It is a milk ejection reflex, and due to this it will release what? It will release the milk. Why oxytocin? The role of oxytocin is contraction. So when the baby will suck it, there will be contraction in the alveoli, okay, or due to this what will happen? There will be contraction of these glands, and it will release more and more milk. Okay, more the feeding will be there, more will be the production of milk due to this thing. And now second, the first thing, that is the prolactin hormone. So this prolactin hormone, it is responsible for the milk production. Okay, and another thing we can say lactopoiesis, because there will be production of milk, right? Then now once the baby has been delivered here, it needs mother's feed. Okay, and here we have to understand that what is that thing which is present in the mother's feed? It is the colostrum. What is it? Colostrum. So the first yellow milk which is coming from the mammary glands, it is what? It is known as the colostrum. And why this colostrum is important? Because it contains antibodies. What it contains? Antibodies, right? So here we are having two types of antibodies we have to study. What are they? IgG, okay, IgG and IgA. So in case of the colostrum, it is having the IgA antibodies. Why? When the baby is taking nutrition from the mother's womb through the placenta, so placenta also releasing some antibodies, that is the IgG. Okay, so this and these two antibodies, they are helping the growing baby for a proper growth and development. Okay, so here we have completed the whole reproduction, how it is happening. So that's all for today. Thank you.